To do one on Kabbalah, or the Tree of Life specifically, and the planets. So, classically, people online that I've communicated with seem to consider that Kabbalah is like as if Kabbalah is its own thing and the planets are more like correspondences. I think this is the wrong way to look at it, especially since planetary magic is pretty much the excuse me. Especially since planetary magic is some of the good shit. To me, I look at the Tree of Life, and I see it as a diagram of planetary magic. I think it has some power in understanding manifestation and Kundalini and stuff. At the same time, it's a diagram. You know, someone figured something out. Had you know what I mean? Like, spirits have shown me diagrams as well. You know what I mean? There's a ton of diagrams that one could know that are also very powerful. So I think it's a little bit overrated. Still, I think it's very powerful. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the the Hebrew alphabet, and I also don't take tarot cards as seriously as some people do. Specifically, I remember one video with Juan Milo Duquette where he was saying that tarot cards are perfect, and that some of those systems, you know, he was really praising them. I sort of disagree with this. I've seen people do divination with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and it still had power. You know, corresponding to something does add power, and that's just the nature of magic. The stacked correspondences sort of are the power. So, you know, especially given some inspiration, I think practically anyone that carries a magical current in them could make a deck and stack as many correspondences sensibly, of course, and make something just as powerful. I mean, just the fact that people use something makes it powerful. But now circling back to the planets, I think that the information, first of all, the information about the Sephirot, the various spheres, is really similar to like what you would hear about in Hinduism and stuff, like or what you would hear about in like Eastern traditions, especially Hinduism. Yeah, like in Tantra, if you want to please the planet Saturn, you would wear black. Saturn is corresponded to Bina, that is also black. I think the fact that the color correspondences are like close enough, and the descriptions are also, you know, close enough. I think it's a little bit of an idiosyncratic view of the planets, but I think it's best to understand that this is what this means, because you know, Bina is 3. It's one of the topmost Sephirot, and that means you have to go on the whole journey and finally get to it. Well, Saturn's the farthest planet, so you know, I think this is even a little bit of a Platonic idea of like building one's consciousness up by sort of working through the planets by, you know, first it's the moon, then it's the sun, then it's Venus and Mercury. I think it's Hod and Netzach. And, you know, it's in that order, so it's like you're escaping the matrix by building your consciousness through the planets, which is very tantric as well. Of course, I don't believe Tantra is really about escaping the matrix as much as just being awake. I think you escape the matrix when your consciousness goes above a certain level. You just know, you know. And I think as your consciousness grows, first of all, you need knowledge to grow your consciousness. You know, certain occult knowledge. But on the other hand, as your consciousness grows, you sort of manifest more knowledge. Maybe that's particular to me. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's very... So I think if you think about the Sephirot, the Tree of Life, just by itself as this obtuse concept, I think this is why they call Kabbalah the secret locked behind 1,000 doors, is because it's like it's simply the planets, and you grow your consciousness through the different spheres, literally through the different planets, until you have a consciousness that transcends all of the planets. And then yeah, I guess something great happens. You cross the abyss, various things, I guess. But and that's really what it's about. I think part of the point of making these things sort of needlessly obtuse, there's maybe a little more of a needful thing of it, is like if you just told someone, yeah, you just expand your consciousness by concentrating on the planets. Okay, that little moving dot up there. Oh, okay, I guess, lol. So I think a lot of times, I've seen this with meditation, where like if you do Karnataka, or sitting meditation, or these various different meditations, I think in my experience, the meditation, once you get past a certain point, it's more about you producing sort of a certain, like, okay, you don't exercise to get good at exercising. You lift weights so you can lift a box, a heavy box, or a bag of kitty litter or something. In the same way, I don't think meditation is meant for you to just be able to stare at an object for a long period of time, or sit and parse through your thoughts for a period of time. To me, meditation is about cultivating an alternative kind of consciousness that's useful with magical practice, dealing with astral projection and things of that nature. So